And let's get started now. My name is Heather Patron, and I'm one of the product specialists here at Specops Software. And just a little bit about me. I've been working in Windows infrastructure world for about 16 years now, mainly Windows Server Platform area and Active Directory. I'm a graduate of Drexel University, and outside of work, I enjoy ballroom dancing, making my own wine, and being a karate mom, which keeps me very busy. We are doing this webinar today from Philadelphia, and right now, luckily, we are in between snowstorms, and hopefully it's going to stay a little dry, but we'll see. So I'm really excited you all could join me this afternoon to take a look at what's new in Windows 10. So basically, what we're going to do is go through some client and server highlights. We're going to go through some new user experiences, talk about a few of the new technologies, and the new authentication possibilities. So I'm going to start out by going through the slide deck, and then I'm going to pull up my VM with the Windows 10 technical preview, and then go from there. So I hope you all enjoyed this session so far. I don't know how many of you had a chance to look at the technical preview yet, but there's a lot of good stuff out there, and it's so far a lot of fun and exciting things, and I look forward to when it gets released. So the one thing about Windows 10 that's new and unique is that you're going to get the same OS experience across many devices. So it's going to be supported on servers, clients, tablets, mobile phones, and Xbox One. So no matter which device that you're on, you're going to have the same experience. So for some users, they actually like the consistency of that when they go from one device to the other. The other new exciting part of this is the free upgrade if you're on Windows 7, 8, or 8.1. So the first year after it's released, that you will get the upgrade for free. So I think Microsoft is really trying to get everyone to adopt this pretty quickly instead of hanging on to the legacy OSs forever like some people did with Windows XP. So hopefully you won't delay and you'll jump on that upgrade. And also, if you're on Windows Mobile 8.1, they'll do the free upgrade from there. And then something else, too, that's new about Windows 10 is that they're doing a combined store for all your devices. So developers can create one app that's going to work across Xbox One, Windows 10 phones, the tablets, and the notebooks. So this way, it's less developing one app across many devices. One of the big highlights that I'm sure you've heard all the news is the Start menu. It's back. It has traditional menu with newer menus. So we'll look at that in more detail when I pop into the demonstration, but that's the talk of most of the people talk about the Start menu, and me, myself, I'm glad to see that back. A few other highlights that we're going to have with the clients is going to be the virtual desktops. So having multiple desktops is going to really help for power users so they can group like applications into separate desktop instances, so you don't have to clutter your screen with quite so many things in there. And you're going to also see new ways when you're doing multitasking for Snap Assist, that the way you can view your multiple applications at the same time. Another nice thing is in-place upgrade from Windows 8.1. So no more worrying about how to wipe out your machine, will your new apps work, what do you do with the data, and that kind of thing. Because I think a lot of times that prevents users from wanting to upgrade, so they stay on their old operating system until it's probably end of life. So they want you to adapt it easy, so they're going to make an easy in-place upgrade. So why not? You can upgrade 8.1 in place. It's free. Let's do it and get it done. So that's extremely exciting. Your modern apps are going to now run on the desktop. It's not going to go in the full screen mode, so you can have a few modern apps running at the same time. And then wait to see the updated search button, because you can even search the web from the search button right on the desktop. The new technologies. One thing is going to be Continuum. It's going to allow you to auto-sense what device you're using or features of a device and adapt easily. So for an example, if you're using a Surface Pro with a keyboard, take off this keyboard, it's going to automatically pop into tablet mode. So it's however you're using your device, it's going to adapt on the fly for you to do that. So good continuous experience. The other thing here is a new browser named Project Spartan. That's the talk of the town, and unfortunately, it's not in the technical preview yet, so we won't be able to see it yet. But the new browser is supposed to be more Chrome-like, simplified, tabbed interface. It's going to support extensions, And I think it's going to have less, what's the word you use with IE, how you just bugged, doesn't work as well. So I think it's going to be more adaptable across the different devices. So for those who do like IE and you're a creature of habit like myself, that it will still be available for a while, because I have not adapted to Chrome. For some reason, I like to stay back on IE. And then there's Cortana. So people who love Siri, well, Cortana is supposed to be even better, because instead of just being a voice-activated system, it's going to be a digital assistant. She's supposed to get to know you, get to know what you like to do, and how you want things done. In all essence, the idea and theory behind Cortana, you will have a digital assistant who could predict what you want and what you want to see and what kind of information you want to have. So Cortana's been out for the Windows Mobile for a little bit, but now she is actually live in the technical preview. Some bugs, I think, out there about her, but that you can start playing around with her and see how she'll evolve in time with it. So when we look at some similarities between client and server, start menu, we mentioned that's back. User interface focuses on multitasking. Then the command line. This is one of the things I love, that you can actually paste special characters into the command line. I think it's about time that Microsoft finally got around to doing that, but I'm really excited about that. And the File Explorer improved. We have new recent files and frequently visited folders available there. So you'll see a lot of new features in there. And then go into server highlights, PowerShell 5, you're going to have OneGet. That's going to bring you package management capabilities to Windows. You're going to be able to manage your network switches better, natively manage the archives, and updates to your desired state configuration. And then going through a little bit more of the server highlights, Windows Defender is going to be, it's natively in the technical preview, though the UI element, that is optional. So, but one thing is that from day one, you're going to have anti-malware built right into the OS. Hyper-V, they're going to have a new configuration file format for VMs, which is nice. There's going to be checkpoint time snapshots now supported. One thing I like about it is that virtual network adapters and memories are now treated as hot swappable. So if I want to increase memory, no more having to shut down the VM, do it, and bring it up. You could just do it hot swappable and on the fly. And a few other quick things about the server, virtual networking, new server role for a network controller. DNS policies, you're going to be able to configure how the DNS server responds to different queries. And then there's going to be some new features for identity and access management. You're going to have just enough admin that in PowerShell, you could just give the permissions that you needed for specific commandlets or modules. There's going to be time-based access and a lot more for fine-grained permissions. Talk about authentication. In the area of identity and access control, Windows 10 will offer IT managers the necessary functions to protect user credentials and devices with two-factor authentication without having to rely on third-party products, which is nice. It will let users enroll with their devices as one of the two authentication factors, with the second being either a PIN or a biometric input, such as the reading of your fingerprint. Also, there's going to be a new user credentialing system. It's going to support Active Directory, the Azure Active Directory, and then consumer Microsoft accounts. And before we jump into the demo, and just point out, there's a lot of great resources out there. Windows IT Pro, PC World, InfoWorld, the news is full of things about Windows 10, and new stories are coming out every day with new features, new people, their opinions, their bugs, the blog posts. So once you start looking at the technical preview, get out there and start looking at what there is. So now, enough from the slideshows. Let's jump in to the technical preview. So let me move over to my VM here. And just give me one moment. And you should now see my virtual machine connection coming up. So I have installed the Windows 10 Enterprise Technical Preview build 9926. This build just came out, I believe, a week or so ago. It's fairly new, and it had a lot of new updates since the original version of it. So if you did look at the original versions, some things I like for the better, some things for the worse. It sort of depends. But we'll start where everyone's talking about, the Start menu. You can see it comes up. You have a combination of your old school style and the new style. Now, in the last technical preview, you were actually able to resize the Start menu and make it different shapes and sizes, which I sort of like that. This one is a static size here, or you can go into full screen mode. So you do have the option of making it bigger if you want to do that, or keep it here. Also, it was rewritten in a new language. I'm not a developer, so I'm not going to pretend that I can tell you the bits of that, but really a word on the street is that the way they wrote this is in a new way of doing it, so hopefully it's going to evolve into future versions. So once you come down in here, you can see all of your apps are listed, nice alphabetical order. You can scroll up or down. And then you have your live tiles over here. And the live tiles can change, so if you want to make something a little bit smaller, you can right-click, resize it to small. Here, take the photo app. I want that to be a little bit bigger. I make it to medium, and one of my photos of my kids can just pop right up there. You can also unpin it from the start if you don't want it there. You can have wide, so if you want something to even go wide there, you can reshape it. You can also uninstall right from here. So you can get rid of something there, and then you can pin to the taskbar. So a lot of features and functionality here. The other thing different from Windows 8 and Windows 8.1 is instead of scrolling side to side, it scrolls up and down. So just a different way they did the interface. You have the power button up here, so you could do your power options right here. Because I know a lot of times in the Windows 8, 8.1, it's very confusing to find out how to shut down your machine. Your account information is up in the upper left-hand corner, and you can even go into account settings right from there also. So you can take a look at that when it comes in, and you can see your various settings that are available for there. One thing is here, you go in here, and I noticed the hardware sync settings. Because for the first few weeks I was doing the technical preview, I couldn't figure out how my Specops wallpaper ended up in here. And one thing I learned that the theme button here, I had that theme turned on, and because it's associated with my Microsoft Live account, it came in automatically. And actually one of my sales colleagues helped me to figure this one out because it was stumping me for a little while. Could not figure out how it would tie in there. And the Start menu, what else exciting things that we have? One nice thing is the recycle bin. You could pin it right here on the Start menu. So if you go up to your recycle bin, you could do quick access with it, and pin to that, pin to Start, or you can unpin it from the Start. So your recycle bin is all over the place in this version. So great new features of the Start menu. And then we come down here, ask me anything, and this is how our friend Cortana comes up. Now, unfortunately, in Hyper-V, we do not have sound available to us to get this to work, so I can't show you all the nice features, but she can predict now that this is the news I want to see in Philadelphia and tell me the weather. Cortana, you have a lot of nice settings in here that you can program. You can turn her on and off. You can tell what name you want to be called. So if I didn't want to be called Heather and want to be called Precious, I could. You can choose if she wants to call by name. You can even have the setting on if you want to have your mic always responsive and you said, hey, Cortana, once she hears you say that, she could start responding and start listening to you and talk to you about what you want to see. So if you don't have Cortana on, then it comes just to be a search window down here, and you could search the windows in the web. So you pop in, you could see Super Bowl 2015. What's going on with that? And it's just going to pull up the web browser and give you that. It's also smart enough if you want to look for WordPad. So it starts looking on your computer, goes through settings, store, web, and so on. You could choose here, search by stuff, or search the web. So nice flexibility there with that. And the next thing is we start talking about the virtual desktops, where you can add a desktop. So here, for example, let me open up one application. I'll do Netflix and Skype here. But I need to get some work done, so I don't want to have just them in there. I'll go to a second desktop. And then maybe start opening up a few things that might be more work-related. Get a little WordPad. in the command prompt. Nice thing is here, we go to the taskbar. I could see that. You can see the nice interface. It has really good animation. I like how it looks. Then I could switch to my other desktop that easily. So the task view is very nice, clean, and organized. Now earlier I mentioned the Snap Assist, that you could just slide something over to the side and it snaps into place. So for the Windows modern apps, you could do two side by side, just like that. But if you want to go to your traditional Windows apps, you can actually snap four into place. So let's open up IE and File Explorer. And this was tricky for me to figure out at first because the life of me was just trying to figure it out. So if you take the Windows apps and you snap to the corner. Pick another one here if you just want the side. So I want to snap that to the corner in there. And you can have all four windows open at the same time. So again, the power user has a lot going on. You want to see everything in one screen, you can do that. You don't need to have four open, but then you want to take one of your modern apps. So I want Maps up. I could just snap that and place on the side, and then still have I could still have my my quarter view here. If I can get it. Doesn't always want to play nice. Maybe not today. Here we go. And get it into place. And while we have command prompt up over here, I had it up. Let's open it up again. I know it's a very small improvement, but it gets me excited when I can special characters, copy and paste right in the command prompt. I think it's really slick how they have it. All right, and moving along with the bar down here, the File Explorer. Some great improvements. Earlier I mentioned they have a quick access open, your frequent folders, recent files. You can see everything here. But I'm a creature of habit, as I said earlier. I don't always like those. So if you come in options, you can go File Explorer. You can take it from quick access down to this PC, and you can have the nice traditional way you're used to seeing it. So they give you options for whichever way you want to have it. So you can see the graphics are a little bit improved here. The color's nice, easy to see. You still get your OneDrive right there, integrated. Really good stuff here. Now we also have the notification settings down here. So you can go here, see notifications for any apps, settings. You can see Windows Update. This is a successful update I have going on. Come down here, I mentioned Continuum earlier for if you want to go to different modes. But sometimes you may have, plugged in the second monitor, and that monitor, it's a touch screen. Well, you can hit down here and change your tablet mode just like that. And everything, I don't have an app open, so let me open up an app here for you. So we see Netflix is here, partial screen. And then I'm going to go to tablet mode. It opens up full screen. You lose the bar at the top. It's just in the mode. And you can see how you lost your search bar down here the way it was before. So it functions like your own tablet. Once you want to go back, you can go back to regular mode again. Also down here, you get your display settings comes up. So quick ways to get to a lot of your settings. Any kind of adjustments you need to make. And settings now. I think in the end, down the line, it seems like they're trying to phase out Control Panel and do more things in settings. But as you can see, a lot of the items in settings are your Control Panel items. You got your system, your devices, your network, time and language type of things. But if you still want Control Panel, you still have the Control Panel that you're used to seeing, very similar. Not a lot has changed in there. So you can see once you go down here, you can see your Wi-Fi and other types of settings also in there. One new thing is, too, I've been hearing a lot of comments about the new photo app. Well, let's go down to apps. I just want to give a brief example of the photo app. So they want to make it, I think, a lot more interactive. So you can come in here, choose your photo, and there's a lot of editing options in the photo. If you want to edit, you have a lot of effects. You could do red eye, straighten, crop, enhance if you need to rotate it. The filters are on there if you want to do different filters, light, color. You can change the saturation if you want. They've really made it easy to edit the photos. Then also the other thing is the Xbox app. They're trying to make Xbox experience go across, not just on your Xbox itself. So you can actually go to the Xbox store in the app, and you can buy your apps or buy your games, and for the Xbox, play from the app. There's interaction there back and forth. They also have a DVR mode available. So if you're playing your video games, about the last 30 seconds or so, you can actually record if you want to go back and get a play-by-play of it. I thought that's interesting. I'm not a big gamer, but I think a lot of people will be really interested in the fact that you can have the gaming experience, just regardless of what device you're on, go across the board. So this is my preview of the exciting things that I found so far when I've been looking at Windows 10. I'm really excited for the next preview to come along. I really think there's going to still be a lot of more changes and improvements over the time because there's only been, a couple releases so far going on. So if anyone has any questions, you could type them in the Q&A box and let me take a look and see what we have so far. So we have one question about, we are covering Server 10 as well. It's a great question. I don't have a preview of the server to show you the user interface. Went over some of the highlights of the server that we know so far, but haven't looked at it yet. But stay tuned to come because that could be a good topic to go over in a future generation. If we had a question about recording, yes, it's recording, so you will be able to take a look at that a little bit later if you want to go back and review the session so far. So there was another question about, is there PSR in Windows 10? I'm not quite sure about that yet. I haven't seen anything about that. And again, that's something that's interesting. I'll look into that and see what I can find out about that. And we have another questions about any known key shortcuts to search Cortana. Not that I know of yet for that, but I know they said Cortana is in the early stages right now. And from what I read and the samples I've seen online, that there's going to be a lot more evolving to her, and that people who have been using Cortana a lot said there's a lot of bugs in there. She's a little bit slow, but as it comes out, it will be. Now, one of the things about Cortana, though, she's supposed to get to know you. So I think she's supposed to start to predict about what you want. So I don't know if you want keys for that or not, or it's going to just, I'm not sure. I'm really curious to see how it's supposed to work. How she's supposed to get to know you and know what you want and your needs for everything. All right. Another question. Microsoft said that all future updates will be streamed. No more Windows 11 or 12. How's this expected to work? I don't know yet. Actually, I heard that Windows 10 is supposed to be the last version of Windows as we know it, and who knows what's going to evolve with the operating system after that. As far as updates work, and as far as like either if you're speaking of Microsoft's updates, I would assume that's going to be working the way it still has worked so far, but I haven't seen anything specific to tell me otherwise yet that there's going to be a new way of doing that. Another question, personal accounts such as your Gmail account. How does Active Directory integrate this? So you realize, I think it was a comment that there was no server version yet. I'm not sure exactly integrating a Gmail account into your Active Directory. I know if you have a Gmail account and you have Windows Live, you can use your Windows Live account. As far as it integrating with Active Directory, I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that. Can you clarify? And we had another comment just saying that they're assuming feature updates will be deployed the same way. As far as we know, that's what I think also. Updates seem to come the same way. If you have a technical preview, it's actually, you can get that, and they actually do push down updates for that too. So I would recommend becoming a Windows Insider and getting out there and doing the technical preview because it's fun to play with it ahead of time and you see some really good stuff. So, does anyone else have any questions out there? A question, will Microsoft stop the logging activity they implemented previously in the beta release? I'm hoping they do because I know when I'm running full certain, I don't want them logging my activity. But again, I'm not sure 100%. I haven't seen what they're going to do with the logging activity, but I think if you sign up as an insider, you're doing a lot of feedback. Okay, clarification. When signing in with my Windows Live account, does this act as a local account when the PC is added to the domain? Yeah, so right now I haven't added my computer to a domain, but what I've used, it does definitely act as a local account right now. When you add it to domain, you're using your domain account there. But that is how it seems to be acting for me. Is there a way to limit users' access to new features in an Active Directory? I like new features, but I don't want everyone spamming the company network. Yeah, company network, that's definitely you don't want people spamming your company network. Limiting users to new features in Active Directory. I'm not sure if you're talking about any specific new features. Everything is just shiny. Yeah, I don't know. I actually haven't seen as far as the AD, if the AD is actually evolved into any new changes. And actually, see, one of my colleagues is saying that the group policy changes haven't come out yet. So that's where you're going to see the new controls. And so far, there haven't published anything going on there. So I guess until we know what that is, that we won't really be able to address your question. But I could see your concern that you don't want everyone playing with it and making changes across the board. Does anyone else have any questions? These have been great questions so far, and gives me a lot to really think about going forward. And as my research continues and testing and playing continues, I'm looking forward to what else comes out there. I hope everyone else is too. I'll give it one more minute or so to see if there's any more questions coming in. So I want to thank everybody for calling in today and participating in our webinar. I hope you found it informative and enjoyable, and I wish everyone a good weekend. And until next time, we will talk to you again.